We'll do this.
Hey guys, thank you, Stephanie. Welcome to another episode of What's Happening with Real Estate, this time in Spokane, Washington, with Steffani Murphy of 4 Degrees. And Stephanie is going to tell us about real estate, and stay to the end of this particular video because she's going to speak to you whether you're a first-time investor in real estate or a first-time home buyer. Stephanie's going to focus on that in the end, so it's worth sticking around to. Hi, Stephanie.
Yes.
How are you?
Doing fabulous. How are you?
I am well, thank you. So what's happening with real estate over there? What's going on with the market?
So with the warm, sunny weather, it's definitely helping the market to pick up. We're seeing buyers and sellers that are all coming out of the woodwork, so it's a great time to get started.
Absolutely, and rates are still low. That's got to be very helpful, I'm thinking.
Yes, especially if they use you.
Thank you, Stephanie. So tell us, what is the median purchase price doing?
So interestingly enough, I was just looking at this. It's around the 210 to 220 price range is the average sales price in Spokane, which the last time we talked, it was a little bit higher, which I find great because it also confirms that one lovely question that everybody always asks: are we in a bubble? No, I don't believe we are, truly. And this is going to show and attest to that, because in a bubble you see prices continually rise, and they are increasing, but it's not out of control, which is great.
Okay, but the median's kind of softened a little bit, so it's decreased a little bit is what we're seeing.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot more that's now becoming available, I would say, for sure, surprisingly enough too. From the 150 to 220 price range, you're starting to see a lot more options become available, which is awesome for those first-time home buyers and also for those first-time investors to kind of dabble in it and see.
Before we go there, would you consider it still a seller's market, Stephanie?
Yes, just because inventory is still low, so that's always going to be, competitive not competitive, but an advantage for our sellers because they don't have as much competition.
Okay, got it. Now, let's start with the first-time home buyer. What's the market look like for them, and what would you say to them?
So the first-time home buyers, and actually what's really awesome is I recently just had somebody reach out because of one of our YouTube videos who wanted to be an investor, but was also looking to purchase as a first-time home buyer themselves as well. And we had a pretty strict budget that we were trying to stay within, obviously just because it was the first-time home buyer. And it was a process that we, had to basically take an application with you, see where they were at, look at income, and then we determined that we were really shopping within the 150, 160 max price range. And there was a lot to look at, which was nice. And so then it really kind of gives them an idea of, do you want a ton of work? Do you want a little bit of work? Or do you want completely finished? And those are all becoming available right now. And so with that, what's that?
That's excellent. That means
it is good.
Yeah.
So what I'm super excited for my client, because he is a first-time home buyer, great, person for this type of a purchase, because it's going to allow him to live in the home while he's working on it. And the income potential for turning it as a rental is 100% there. But what's even cooler about this one is with a little bit of work, he can turn around and actually flip this and could make about 25% increase on his purchase price. So we went from so I got him signed around at 163, and he could add a second bathroom, which is super easy to do for this particular house. The walls are already open and exposed basically. And it's just simply putting another bathroom in, and we'll see that value on that house at least in the 220 to 230 price range. Which
That's kind of the best of all worlds for a buyer, when they can get into a home and they can elect to either stay there and they got the purchase price they want. They can make the home what they want on the home, or they can take the profit and move to another home or make it a rental. They have all those options available, don't they?
Yep, they do. And this one is, it's great, but this isn't the only one that we saw too. I will say, in that price point, you're going to find yourself competing against a lot of people typically, just because you have investors and the home buyers that are all looking in that price point. However, I'll kind of say that one of the good things is why you really want to know who it is that you're working with, especially as your realtor, is because number one, they need to be able to help coach you as what to expect when it comes to the finance piece of it, because that's going to be your largest piece. Knowing if there's any wiggle room at all. So if you get into a bidding war, how high are you willing to go on a house, and what does that look like payment-wise? So obviously this one took him a little bit higher than what he initially wanted to, but I mean, truly the difference between 150,000 and 165,000 is pretty minimal on that monthly payment.
Yeah, it's not so much.
But that's literally what made him win this deal. The other thing is pick a realtor that, you know, knows the market, knows the area, but then also who knows all of the other agents, because oftentimes in a market where it gets good, you get a lot of agents that will, you know, decide, hey, I want to be a part-time agent, but those are really not the ones that you want working for you, because they don't know the ins and outs of the market, of the transactions. And like in particular, again, with this one too, the list agent we have, we, you know each other very well personally, but then also business-wise, and we know we work well together. And I can tell you that will make a big difference for you if you're representing a seller, because you want, you know, the good, solid buyer to be under contract with you, not one of the ones that's going to, you know, get into it and decide, nope, I don't want this, or I'm changing my mind, and then they back out, because that's the last thing you want is you back out of a contract too. But
got
so
it.
that does make a difference.
Got it. Let's speak to the first-time home investor now.
Okay. So the first-time investor, if they are not looking to occupy the home themselves, then typically you're going to need more of a down payment. Or there's also the option for hard money lending too, which in these types of situations can be a really good route to go. They are more expensive, but what we are seeing is if you need, you know, a quick turnaround time for financing, because obviously most times as a first-time investor, you're not going to have, you know, 150,000 or 200,000 cash just sitting there to the side that you're going to use to dump into all of one property. So you can either leverage equity, or you can borrow from the hard money lending, which acts kind of like as cash, and then you can go in and buy these properties and then do whatever it is that you need to do to them. Every property is going to be a little bit different, but then you can turn around and flip them to sell them, or you can flip them to hold them too. And I have investors that do all of those things. But again, so I'm going to say what definitely sets me apart from most other realtors is I have that lending background, so I can help, you know, give them so many different financing options for them of how to set themselves up in order to make that, you know, dream a reality of becoming a real estate investor. And a lot of people are really figuring out that's kind of the way to go. And this is a really good market to do it in, and especially in the Spokane area, because it's just growing and expanding, and people, you know, are finding that you can still find good deals to create, you know, either a long-term retirement investment plan or create some secondary income, however you want to do it. I work with all sorts of investors, so.
Great. All right. So, Steffani, thanks for all that great information kind of thing. If somebody wanted to reach out to you and connect and ask about the Spokane market, or simply get to know you, what would be the easiest way for them to do that?
So I would definitely say to either call me on my cell phone, which is 509-280-4048, or text me, you know, whichever one. And then you can always email me, but truly my cell phone is probably the best way to call or text me. Okay,
just in case they'd like email, Steffani, what is your email address, please?
So my email is my first and last name spelled out. So STEFFANIMURPHY.RE@gmail.com.
All right, got it, guys. Thanks, Steffani, for your time with another overview of Spokane in the market. We appreciate it.
Yes, of course. Thank you. I hope to chat with some people soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Steph.
Thanks.